everybody. My name is Emmanuel, and I'm here to present my research titled Assessing the Impact of Nutrition Education on Gender Roles and Child Care in Kwendeni, Northern Malawi. So, I'm going to present in the following format. First of all, I'll give the background of the study, then the guide findings of addressing child malnutrition, then the role of participatory education, then the research findings, and the limitation of my research. Okay, so the background of my research is that in Malawi, where the research is taking place, so that is Malawi, child malnutrition is a problem, and almost 50% of the children under 5 are stunted. This means that they are shorter than their age. So as you can see on the diagram there, in the picture there, a child is malnourished. So there are so many reasons why this problem is high in Malawi. The first reason that there is inadequate food intake, so in which children do not eat a lot of food to balance up their diet. The second one is the diseases. So child diseases is also high because of lack of hospitals. And another one is unequal gender relations, whereby men and women do different work, whereby other group, especially women, do a lot of work, while men do not do much. So my research is going to look at unequal gender relations, because the area that I do my research, they have addressed inadequate food intake. They have a lot of food, and also there is a hospital nearby. So, but still, child malnutrition is high in the area. So I'm using the care framework, whereby we look at how can we improve child nutrition, whereby we look at household food security and health services. So as I have already talked about it, the area has already food and it has already health services. So with me now, I'm going to look at how can gender roles, how can we make home health practices using communities to improve adequate dietary intake and health in order to improve child survival. So this is my area of concentration. So nutritional education. Why am I using nutritional education as my method of imparting the knowledge? I'm using nutritional education because there is studies that show that nutritional education improves child food intake. This was done in India. And also there is also a reference that nutritional education improves dietary diversity, and that research was done in Malawi. And finally, nutritional education improves food intake, and that study was done in China. But what we don't know is migration. Can participatory community nutritional education, which we call recipe days, improve equal household gender division of labor? Can that nutritional education improve the division of labor? So, specific question is, what is the effect of recipe days on gender roles with respect to child care and complementary feeding practices, and also gender roles with respect to household food preparation, and that's the caregivers' knowledge with regard to recipe days. What I mean is, can nutrition education help caregivers to have enough knowledge on how they can feed the children? So, as you can see in the diagram, that is a part of the nutrition education that I'm looking at. Now, research design and the methodology. I'm using exploratory and qualitative research. Why am I using exploratory? The reason is that the area is new. There is no any study that took place to know how men and women share domestic work. As such, I have to explore so that I can know if there is really an equal division of work or not. And the qualitative research, I'm using qualitative research because it is where I can understand more why couples share different work differently, and how we can change that division of work. So this is based on pre-post quasi experimental design, as you can see in the picture, whereby I had the first phase and the second phase, which is intervention, and the third phase. So my research, my presentation, I'm going to emphasize on the phase one because I cannot cover all in one session. In the first phase, we chose 10 households, and those households should those with under 3 children, and also those households with different socioeconomic status. And we interviewed them before recipe days and after recipe days. So we focused on in-depth interviews, whereby I was interviewing women. I was interviewing men, while my research assistant was interviewing women. The reason is that I, as a man, I would interview men because gender roles are like confidential issues. So it was difficult for me to ask women because it would be like interfering with their privacy. And we used also bio-sorting exercise, whereby we had cards and the participants were sorting the cards to show what work they were doing and what work their partners were doing, and we were comparing the results. And we were also asking questions about why they do different child care activities or gender roles differently. So we were also including about how they are caring their children. So the findings of the first results, as you can see in the table, the first part here is the first part here is where women's work we are doing. So this was, as we say, we had 60 participants. So women and men were clarifying where they do together, or where women was doing the work, or men were doing more, or they were doing together. So according to this table, it shows that women were doing more of the domestic work than men. Then on the another findings, couples participation in housework. It was also found out that women were doing more of the domestic work than husbands. So research implication. After seeing that, the results of the research show that there is an equal gender roles in domestic work in Wendeni, whereby women were performing 91% of the child care and 83% of housework. So that was the result of the first session. And the reason was that gender role ideology, whereby people were saying this is women's work and this is man's work, and also construction of gender, whereby if you do this work, you will portray yourself as a man, and if you do this work, you will portray yourself as a woman, were the main cause of gender inequality. Then after presenting the results to the members, they recommended that we need to implement community-based nutrition education so that we can address gender inequality in the area. Research limitation. This research has got some limitation. The first one, that we had a small sample size, whereby we had 60 participants. As such, we cannot really generalize the results to the whole community or to the whole part of Malawi. And also, the participants were not randomly sampled, whereby limiting the generalization of the results. The second one is that the effect of the researcher. Because I was participating in all the activities, people could change their roles, especially they can wish to do what they think I want to hear. So that was also another problem. And the last one was inability to observe child care activities. You know, as you can see in the picture, much of the child care activities are done in the private scenario in the houses, whereby it's difficult for a person to enter and observe those child care activities. So, in conclusion, exploratory research indicated that there was gender inequality in the division of domestic work in Ikwendeni. as you can see in the diagram, men are drinking beer, while a woman with a child on her back, she is drawing water. So that was the evidence we found that there was gender inequality. And we say that the appropriate judicial intervention was recommended to address the inequality. So thank you very much. If ever there is a question, I can entertain it.